We welcome you to Houston, Texas, downtown Houston, where Minute Maid Park will host tonight's final game of a three-game series between the Astros and Seattle Mariners. Final time in 2018 between these two teams. Last night, the Astros victorious, and they picked up a game on the Oakland A's, who lost later in the evening in Anaheim. So now the Astros lead Oakland by 5 games in the AL West. The magic number for clinching the division is down to 7. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Glad you could join us for another night of Astros baseball. And Blummer, here we go. Seattle won that first game, similar to Arizona, where the Diamondbacks won the first game, and the Astros a chance to win this series.
Win this series and win the season series against the Seattle Mariners. They've only beat them twice here at home. They'd like to finish them off here, win that third game, and send them packing.
So in our HEB, no player does more. We're going to focus in on Marwin Gonzalez, who loves facing these M's.
And literally no player does more on this Astros ball club for AT HOU. He is versatile, plays all over the infield, plays all over the outfield. We even saw him in center field earlier this season. But he does it from both sides of the plate, too. And remember, Altuve on the DL, Carlos Correa on the DL, and you have a guy like Marwin Gonzalez that you can plug in there doing a fantastic job. But slugging percentage in the last 5 games is beautiful. Went Oppo Taco on Tuesday night last night. He's really been a force and really hit himself further up in the lineup and found himself in that cleanup spot a couple of times for AJ Hinch.
So Marwin will try and lead the offense tonight as the Astros and Mariners face each other for the final time for Marwin. The numbers for the first 99 games were not where he wanted, but since August 1, it has been a different story.
Yeah, the start of the season was probably a little bit disappointing for Marwin, especially coming off a season where he drove in 90 runs to lead the Houston Astros, but he is still valuable. You can't expect him to go out there and drive in 90 every single season, but the 299, the 28 RBIs is a very nice number for him. 19 extra base hits also since August 1st.
Astros and Mariners all tied up at 9 games apiece on the season series. It'll be Dallas Keuchel on the mound for the Astros, and the M's are going with an opening pitcher tonight. West Airlines, low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Volkswagen. and by Shoppers John Deere, your local John Deere dealer with 8 area locations. Dallas Keuchel takes the hill tonight against the Seattle Mariners to wrap up this series. When we come back, Julian Morales will talk about his success lately and his change in style.
Go head-to-head for one more contest for the 2018 regular season is over, and Dallas Keuchel will be on the mound tonight, pitching in his final game here at Minute Maid Park for the regular season, of course. But he's been comfortable here, and the Astros hope that continues tonight as they try to inch their way closer to a division title. Keuchel's coming off a quality start, which is pretty much all he's done here in the second half of the season, or better. Our Best in Texas Power Pitcher is presented by your local Ford dealers, and that's going to look at Keuchel in this ballpark. You know he's been good here over his career, but his last 7 is the story. The way he turned things around this season midway and started putting up really good numbers, including that ERA right here in his last 7, going back to the beginning of July. The 2 ERA, pretty impressive. That first inning still giving him a little bit of trouble if you ask him, but he is happy with the way that he's able to find his groove, get in a rhythm pretty quickly right after that and right the ship. It's been a tale of 2 seasons, like I said, in the last few months. Just coming on strong, but he's had to make so many adjustments. This has not been easy for him. He said that early on, too. This is my 7th year in the league. I'm going to have to change the way that I pitch, the way I use my stuff. And you're looking at the curveball and the changeup and how those are used and the numbers he's getting off of them. So, guys, that secondary stuff, the way his off-speed pitches are playing here lately has been pretty interesting as Keuchel tries to find ways to get hitters out.
We had a lot of success since July 1st, Blummer. What have you noticed changing with Dallas?
Getting away from the cutter and relying on that fastball, getting on the changeup and curveball. The interesting thing is he has that 2-seam fastball that is very good down and away. And then when he wants to come inside, he's eliminated the cutter and gone with the 4-seam fastball, usually on the first base side of the rubber, kind of creating a crossfire action, getting in on the hands. We know he doesn't have a ton of strikeouts, but he does a very good job of using those pitches and those secondary pitches, namely the changeup and the curveball, to get off the barrel and create that soft contact.
Dallas out there for start number 32 on the season tonight. As you take a look at his numbers going in, he is looking for another 200-inning season. Our lineup tonight for the Mariners: Mitch Haniger will lead things off, riding an 8-game hitting streak, followed by Gene Segura and Robinson Cano. Nelson Cruz bats in the cleanup spot. Ryan Healy plays first base and hits 5th. Kyle Seager, the 3rd baseman, hitting 6th. Mike Zunino catches. Guillermo Heredia is in left field, and Dee Gordon in center field tonight. Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Josh Reddick is back in there. He's going to get a start in left field tonight with Jake Marisnick patrolling center to start this game. Means George is over in right with a clean jersey tonight. Alex Bregman and Marwin Gonzalez on the left side. Jose Altuve and Yuli Gurriel on the right side. And night off for Carlos Correa and Martin Maldonado with some new gear behind the plate.
Yeah, barely notice him, huh?
That would have looked good on Players Weekend. Martin is ready to go. Dallas is ready to go. Astros winning 3 of the first 5 games on this homestand. They lost the opener to the Diamondbacks, then won the next 2. They lost the opener to Seattle, hoping to win the next 2 against the M's and reduce their magic number down, which currently sits at 7 for the division and 2 for the postseason. We are underway with a first pitch swing and a base hit up the middle. Mitch Haniger didn't take long to continue his hitting streak and move it to a 9-game hitting streak. Haniger leads off with a base hit for the 5th time in his last 8 games. Here's Gene Segura. Segura coming in with 167 hits. That's 5th in the American League. The Astros have held him down in this series 0 for 7 as he takes a strike from Dallas. Haniger, who has been in that leadoff spot ever since the Mariners came into town here the 2nd week of August. Line drive, base hit down the line, and Haniger heads to 3rd. Reddick will hustle to get it back in. The Mariners quickly with runners on 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. And Julia referenced that Dallas at times this year has struggled in that first inning.
First pitch pretty much right down the middle on our MD Anderson strike zone. Try to get inside with that 4-seam, maybe a little bit of a cut getting on the side of it, and it gets raked down the left field line just out of the reach of Alex Bregman. And yeah, that first inning ERA coming into this game was 6.68. So the first inning, that's for the season for Dallas Keuchel, even as well as he's gone in the last 14, 15 starts. The first inning has really been tough for him to work out of.
Now he'll face Robinson Cano. Dallas allowed 2 runs last start in 6 innings against the Diamondbacks. Both the runs scored in the first inning. While he has struggled in the first, as Blummer documented, he's also been able to put the wheels back on when he's given up runs in that first inning, like he did against the D-backs last start.
Yeah, the one thing that's been impressive is he's kept his poise, able to work deep in ball games, even with a couple of those rough first innings.
This ball into left field. Reddick coming on. He can't quite make the play. Bounces off his glove. That'll be a hit for Cano, and the Mariners take a quick 1-0 lead as the first 3 have reached.
Reddick playing with his back almost against that manual scoreboard out there, came charging in and got handcuffed on that low line drive. Tried to make the shoestring catch, could not.
Josh, we mentioned, has played more right field in his career than left field, but with Jake in there and George over in right, Josh getting the start in left tonight. Be the 3rd straight hit for the Mariners. And a quick 1-0 lead. And this is the last guy Dallas wants to face after giving up 3 straight hits. Nelson Cruz has great numbers against Dallas. A .310 career batting average, but 5 home runs against Dallas, which is 2 more than any other player facing Dallas in their career. First inning woes. Next 3 innings, he add up all those runs combined. It does not equal what he gives up in the first. Strange swing there from Cruz. A little bit late. It's 0-2.
Good movement on a sinking fastball.
Astros have the infield back with 1st and 3rd and nobody out. Dallas puts one on the ground. They will try and turn 2 and give up a run if they have to.
StatCast AI powered by AWS. Nelson Cruz is a very strong man, likes to pull the ball and elevate on that pull side. That's why the Astros are in that shift. It's going to be tough if Altuve gets a ground ball to his left. A lot of ground to cover for Marwin.
He gets the strikeout. Dallas needed it, and he picks up a strikeout of his nemesis Nelson Cruz.
Staying way away from Nelson Cruz. Nice little cluster down and away with good action on that changeup, diving down and out of the zone.
Well, that'll bring up Ryan Healy. This is where Dallas, who is the best in the American League in ground ball rate and trailing only Clayton Richard of the Padres in the major leagues, could use a ground ball. Healy takes a pitch for ball one. Seattle coming out early against Dallas. Only 10 pitches thrown. We're 5 batters in with 3 hits and a strikeout. Healy did not start last night's game, came on as a pinch hitter. Started the game Monday against Framber Valdez. And now the count's 3-0. .32 start for Dallas, his second most behind 33 he made in his Cy Young season of 2015. And he walks Healy on 4 pitches, all of them in the same area there. So the bases will be loaded with 1 out and Kyle Seager the batter.
A little bit of traffic and a ground ball would be nice from Dallas. It's one thing he's definitely done well this year. Soft contact and the ground ball.
Seager has more at bats than anybody in this Mariners lineup against Dallas. And a little meeting early between Keuchel and Martin Maldonado. Dallas has pitched against Seattle 4 times this year. 1-2 in those 4 starts with a 4.008 ERA coming in. Seager 50 at bats against Dallas, 12 hits, 240 batting average, 3 home runs, 13 strikeouts. Gets through the legs of Maldonado. Down the line comes Segura. He is going to score. Everybody moves up a base on a pitch in the dirt that squirted away from the Astros catcher. It's 2-0 Mariners.
Kind of feels like the first time we've seen something like that happen to Maldonado on our Mattress Firm Supermo. Glove gets down, but didn't get down to the knees in order to get the entire body in front of it as he moved to his left.
Wild pitch charge to Keuchel. Now the infield comes in with second and third. And it takes the double play out of the equation. Outside is 2-0. So a tough start to this game for Keuchel. 2 runs in, 1 out.
Dallas gave up 2 runs against Arizona in that last start, proceeded to go 6 innings, and that was the only 2 runs that he gave up. I'd like to see the same thing happen here, but it's going to be tough.
This is one where Dallas, with the base open, might be pitching a little more carefully to Seager. He could set up a double play with Mike Zunino on deck. It's a swing and a miss at that 3-0 pitch.
One thing in this series that's been interesting with Kyle Seager, usually a very good hitter, having himself a rough season coming into this game at 220, is he's had a couple of hitters counts, but kind of expanded the zone a little bit.
And that last pitch was a little borderline. And a strike called on the edge. Dallas back in the count.
And maybe off the edge a little bit, but that's what happens when you get a little aggressive and expand the zone and put yourself, you know, back into the count as far as Dallas Keuchel is concerned.
Well, this will be an interesting pitch because Dallas has been working outside trying to get him to chase.
No, I'm with you.
Got a call there. Now how do you attack things 3-2?
If he threw a changeup.
Up the middle, hits Dallas and into right field. That hit him hard. 1 run scores. It is a 3-0 game. And they will check on Keuchel.
You've got to. That was a little frightening. That's a second game in a row where we've seen a line drive back towards the head of Dallas Keuchel, but wow. Ricocheted off his neck. Just remember, it was on the back of his left shoulder.
Jeremiah Randall had athletic trainer out there talking to Dallas. He is acting like he's fine, but that was really scary.
I'm not entirely sure where that got him. It's 99 miles an hour coming back at him. That hit his head.
What?
Didn't it? I don't think he got any glove on that. I think that got him in the head. That's why Jeremiah Randall's taking a little extra time with him having the conversation. Oh, man. Wow. Wow, they'll keep an eye on him. Keuchel's as tough as they come. But if I read that replay right. Wow.
Well, Seager ends up with a base hit off of Dallas Keuchel into right field. And it's now a 3-0 game and still just 1 out in the inning. Truck's telling us that you are correct. It did hit his side of his head and ricocheted into the outfield.
Oh, man.
Pitchers do wear protective flaps in their caps.
Colin McHugh is one of those guys.
Colin McHugh does. Out of play, it's 1-1. Robbie Ray, who pitched against the Astros in the first game of this series, does, or first game of this homestand rather, does. No, Jeremiah, you're right. He will pay very close attention to what happens here with Dallas and check him out in between innings. Upstairs, it's 2-1. Mariners 3 runs on 4 hits in this inning already. They have first and third. Healy on third. Seager on first. RBI single by Robbie Cano. RBI single by Seager, and a wild pitch that scored a run. He gets a strikeout here of Zunino. So both outs in this inning have been on strikeouts. And that's the second out of the inning. And the runner stayed first and third.
A little bit of a hanging slider. Wanted it down and in. Just left it up out of the plate. And Zunino with a massive hack. Swings right through it. Not uncommon for Zunino, striking out 40% of his ABs.
His numbers against lefties only 165 coming in.
That's amazing to see.
Here's Guillermo Heredia. Heredia lays off a pitch outside for ball one. There's a strike. Trip Gibson calling balls and strikes tonight. Astros winning the opening game, or excuse me, losing the opening game of this series to the Mariners 4-1, winning last night's contest in a shutout by the score of 8-0. And now down early in this one, 3-0. In the air, right field side. Springer has an angle on it and makes the play in foul territory. Hopefully Dallas is fine. Gives up 3 in the first. Presented by Southwest Airlines. Happy birthday, George Springer, at the top of the lineup, celebrating his 29th birthday tonight. Jose Altuve bats at the 2 spot. Alex Bregman, Marwin Gonzalez, Tyler White, 3 through 5. Yuli Gurriel's been hot lately at home. Josh Reddick is the 7-hitter. Martin Maldonado, since August 1st, has been doing a nice job. And Jake Marisnick in center field.
Matt Festa, get to know him real quick because he's probably going to be out of there relatively soon. Bullpen day for the Seattle Mariners, at least to start this thing out. 4 games this season, 5 1/3 innings pitched, 8 hits given up. His strikeout numbers in the minor leagues were pretty good, and he has yet to. This is the first time he's pitched above Double-A. Spent the entire season in Double-A for the Seattle Mariners before being called up in September.
So the old opening pitcher facing the Astros tonight, as it will be a bullpen day for Scott Service and Todd Stottlemyre, or Mel Stottlemyre Jr., the pitching coach. Springer turning 29 today, sharing a birthday with former Astro Joe Morgan, late night host Jimmy Fallon. Springer has not had great success on his birthday. He's 2 for 11 in previous years, playing on his birthday, 15, 16, and 17. Did not play on his birthday the first year. This is a guy that was the closer at Double-A Arkansas this year. 20 of 22 save opportunities. Has been working exclusively out of the bullpen at the minor league and major league level until tonight. Fastball slider guy. That last fastball came in at 91. George into right field. Haniger puts it away for out number 1. Gonna bring up Jose Altuve. Altuve last night, when the Astros added to their total and scored a couple of runs in the 8th inning, scored his 640th run of his career. That pushed him into a tie for 8th all-time in Astros history with Bob Watson. Altuve misses the fastball. It's 0-1.
Festa averaging almost 93 miles an hour on his fastball this season. That slider looks to be pretty sharp. 86, 87 miles an hour. It's a primary mix for him. He does have a changeup, the occasional sinker.
Altuve pops one in the air to left. Heredia puts it away for out number 2. Festa made his big league debut back in July at Coors Field in Colorado. Not exactly the best place for a pitcher to debut. Ended up with a shutout appearance out of the bullpen there. Also pitched in one game against the Dodgers in Seattle in August, and then recalled on September 11th, and has made 2 appearances out of the bullpen since.
Yeah, I'd say his primary goal for Scott Service is to go out there and get as many of these right-handed hitters as he can.
He's not a big strikeout guy, at least so far at the big league level. Just 1 strikeout in 6 innings of work.
Yeah, but his strikeout rates in the minor leagues were pretty good. In A-ball, 12.8 this season. In Double-A, you talked about all the saves that he did have. 12.3 strikeouts per 9. Seen a little more velocity too. Some of the scouting reports say that he could touch 96.
You got to think some extra adrenaline for a kid who's not used to starting, who's been at Double-A or lower all year.
He's getting himself an opportunity at the reverse save.
There's that slider that we spoke of. He may have hung one to Altuve. It was at 81. That one was a little sharper at 86. Now he.
Sorry, according to FanGraphs, it actually says that he has a fastball, slider, and curveball, so it's basically no changeups.
If he does have a curveball, he hasn't broken one out this year, unless that pitch to Altuve was a curveball at 81. Where he 1 pitch catches a piece of the inside corner. The count's full. Alex looking for his first hit in this series. He's in an 0 for 10 right now, and just 1 for 15 on this homestand. Alex, after reaching base 42 consecutive games, has not reached base in 2 in a row against the Mariners. Into right center field. Haniger on the move, though, and will get there for the final out of the inning. A 1-2-3 inning for Festa in his first start.
Chevy Stropole. Which Astros outfielder's defensive reaction is your favorite? So is it George Springer with the catch and slide we saw in Detroit? How about Jake Marisnick? We see this one a lot. The fist pump after he makes a great catch. He usually celebrates with George too. And then there's Marwin Gonzalez. He's got a good arm out there. He makes a play. Put that gun back in the holster. All right, those are your 3 choices. Vote at ATT Sportsnet SW. We will let you know which one of those wins. George almost had the greatest catch of all time, according to Brian McCann last night, guys. We'll take a look at that one later.
Yeah, we'll check that out and all the antics that happened during the course of that attempt by George. B-Mac was going to put it as the greatest catch ever made. Here's D. Gordon to lead off the second inning, taking a strike after a foul ball, down to the count 0-2. Gordon usually pretty aggressive at the plate, and especially when he gets to 2 strikes. And he rolls one towards Altuve. Jose knows he has to hurry with Gordon running, and he does for the first out of the second inning. Mariners going with an opening starter tonight. And Matt Festa went 1-2-3 in the first inning, but the M's have bullpen action going as we play here in the second. Right-hander Casey Lawrence warming up. Here's Mitch Haniger. He singled and scored his first time up. That was Haniger's 22nd hit of the year against the Astros. As you check out Lawrence, who appears will have the second inning after Festa threw that first inning, and retired Springer, Altuve, and Bregman in order, all on fly ball outs. Dallas ahead 0-2. Hopefully that trend that we showed you earlier with the first inning ERA followed by the ERAs in the second, third, and fourth will continue, because Dallas trying to lock it down after a struggle that first inning. One-two pitch punched into shallow right field. Altuve over the shoulder, basket catch. Wants some love from Jake for the second out.
It's pretty casual.
The love from Jake or the catch?
The catch. Just trotting along, making an easy catch out of it. He wanted to have a little bit of a celebration afterwards, but the guys weren't having any part of it.
No.
Yeah. Hey. Give me some.
That ball's into center field. Jake on the move, and he gets a lot of baseballs that hang in the air for a little bit. Marisnick makes the play for the final out of the inning.
Marwin again, Mr. Versatility. Big home run in Game 2 of that World Series, igniting that Game 2 win late. Plays all over the infield, all over the outfield, both sides of the plate. Marwin's not a guy, if you ask him if he can do something on the baseball field, that's going to say no. He pretty much says yes to all of it, and he does it well.
Throw right here on the money, getting Greg Bird at home plate in the ALCS. Where's the holster? Mac had a lot of those close plays at the plate.
Yeah, he held in nicely, still given that sliding lane.
Well, Marwin will lead things off for the Astros in this inning, and the Astros will face a new pitcher, Matt Festa. Out after one inning, it's now Casey Lawrence.
Casey Lawrence, fastball, 90 to 92, possibly change up, curveball and a slider. 8 games this season, 17 1/3 innings pitched.
It was a four-seamer and a sinker as he delivers to Marwin, who first pitch swings and sends one in the air to center field. D. Gordon will wait for it and put it away. So Festa throws 13 pitches and his night is over. You know, if this opening pitcher thing catches on, a guy like Matt Festa can be a starting pitcher and make dinner reservations for 8:15.
That's a brutal thing to sit there and make the guy watch the 8 next innings.
He can go to dinner, come back, do the post-game media session, and he's good.
Boy.
His day's done right now. At 7:40, or you probably knew before that, but
spread's not even here yet.
That's what I'm saying. Leave. Just there's choices downtown in Houston. Leave the stadium. Come on back, do your post-game media session. You're good.
So do you go to the arbitration table and say, I had 35 starts and I had totaled 35 innings?
I had 35 starts and 30 of them were shutouts. Unfortunately, I only lasted an inning in all of them. Yeah, it's kind of the trend. I think it's here to stay. I don't know how many teams will employ it next year.
It's bizarre.
It is a little unusual.
I'm just curious how long players are going to go with it, because I feel, being on the player side, that it's going to suppress salaries.
That's going to be an issue.
Because you can't go to the table and say, hey, I want to negotiate a multi-million-dollar contract because I opened games.
There's going to have to be some analytic studies to give these guys credit for what they're doing. You're right about that.
So instead of holds, you're going to get opens? God.
Tyler White with a count of 3-1. That's above our pay grade to figure that out, but I agree with you. I think the MLBPA, the Major League Baseball Players Association, will have a say in that if this becomes a little more progressive and a little more popular throughout the league. Seager on a couple of hops. Nice play on Tyler White for out number 2. The Astros take on the Angels in the final home series of the regular season. It's this weekend, and a limited number of tickets are still available, starting at $20 for tickets. Visit astros.com/tickets. Here is Yuli Gurriel. Astros 0 for 5 so far against the 2 different relievers for the Mariners.
You know who these bullpen days are not exactly joyful for? The hitters.
Or the hitting coach.
Yeah. You got to have that iPad charged.
You're going to get a lot of guys. He'll be very popular on these days.
Yeah, you're going to get blisters from swiping. Going to the next page, trying to figure out what this next guy's tendencies are.
That ball is hit pretty well, but D. Gordon seems to have it lined up, and he does. 1-2-3 inning for Casey Lawrence. We'll see if he stays in the game.
Josh James this season started out in Corpus Christi, then on to Fresno, and then making a statement here with the Houston Astros. But the interesting number is that last one, the K per 9, pretty consistent, 13.5 strikeouts per 9 innings for Josh James. Saw a great mix of all three of those pitches yesterday with the fastball touching a hundo, also that slider, and I would argue to say that his changeup is his second best pitch.
I agree. Comebacker, Dallas. Can't blame him if he's a little gun shy. Makes that play on Robbie Cano for the first out of the inning. Comparing Josh James to Framber Valdez, Valdez has made one more start. James has had much better control.
I was going to say, for me, and I think a lot of analysts and coaches out there, that 19 strikeouts is really the only thing you can point to with Framber where you say, gosh, I wish he was just a little more consistent in the zone. Now, that last start out, I really felt Framber got squeezed a little bit. But Josh James, with the rocket fuel coming out of that right arm and being able to locate, makes him very appealing.
Framber has made 5 starts. Even though I agree with you, he was squeezed a bit. He's walked 3 in every start.
Yeah.
So even if he didn't walk 5, maybe he walked 3 in that outing, and that's still a little too many because he's going about 5 innings in every start. Josh was very impressive, and he's had Brian McCann as his catcher for both of his big league starts. As we welcome in Julia, what was Brian's reaction to his outing?
Well, he's extremely impressed with both of those guys, and everyone is in that clubhouse. Even Altuve saying yesterday, these guys are showing all the confidence in the world. But back to what Brian said last night after catching him, he's impressed with his poise on the mound, and we've talked a lot about that, but also his ability to stick with the game plan they had last night. And Josh has said that too. I'm gonna throw whatever Brian McCann throws down. He's got the experience, so they worked well together. But Brian also said he's waited his whole life for this.
Heads up.
Whew.
I heard that.
It was coming in.
But Brian said, Josh James is a guy that's waited his entire life for this, and you can tell by the way he is preparing for any chance that he can get to get on that big league mound. He said first impressions are huge in this league, and he knows that, and he's showing up in a big way.
Julia, you're around the guys as much as anybody. It seems like it's a kid who really respects being at this big league level and is not caught up in the moment, but also knows he is a rookie and he learns and absorbs everything.
He is, and you see that in his answers. He takes his time in trying to tell us how he's feeling, but at the same time he is just very honest with the fact that he still can't really believe he's here. It's still not real yet for him, and he is leaning on guys for help. When he was moved into the bullpen for a couple of games, he quickly found someone to turn to and ask questions. He's just not afraid to do that, and he wants to make a good first impression, and he's definitely done that so far.
2-2 pitch is sent towards the middle. Altuve backhands, long throw, and Cruz out at first base for the second out. Nice play by Altuve to get Cruz. Saw it last night. Cruz kind of stutter steps going into that bag. It cost him probably on close plays.
Well, Altuve thought that he had to get rid of this, or he had time to get rid of this, but you can see him kind of speed things up and throw it pretty hard because Cruz is moving so well. But I agree with you. For whatever reason, the last 10 feet turned into about 3 or 4 steps. Because he's moving so much better than before.
Just shortens up the strides as he gets to the bag, and that cost him last night against Alex Bregman on a play that was overturned. Astros were 3 for 3 on reviews last night, getting plays overturned.
Yeah, I think AJ got the game tape saved to his computer. He's pretty proud of that one.
Ryan Healy walked his first time up. Dallas all of a sudden has retired 7 in a row after a struggle to start this game, where 5 of the first 6 hitters reached base. Healy drew a walk to reach his first time up. We will see Josh James get another start at some point, you would think, although the Astros are kind of figuring out how they're going to play this final 11 games based on where they are. Right now a 5-game lead. But we'll certainly see James at some point, whether it's as a starter or as a guy who can give you innings out of the bullpen. Framber Valdez, the same thing. Last night, James was in the place of Garrett Cole. Cole had his start pushed back to Friday. He'll kick off that series against the Angels. Garrett's thrown a lot of pitches this year, and the Astros just giving him a little extra breather late in the season. Hopefully he'll be feeling frisky getting into the postseason. Two pitch is a foul at the plate.
I think Dallas is getting on the side of his four-seam fastball, and there's a little bit of a cut movement. But the thing that's interesting and maybe separates itself from cutters that we've seen previously from Dallas is the velocity. Just a slight little nudge towards the inside or into the hands of a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, Dallas has that little crossfire, so sometimes it can be hard to discern between that four-seamer riding in to righties and that cutter that has that little extra movement in on righties. Now the count's gone full on Ryan Healy. Dallas needed 28 pitches in the first inning, only threw 2 of 8 strikes on the first pitch of that inning, then 3 for 3 last inning. And 2 of 3 this inning, so he has rebounded after a tough start and strikes out Healy here to end the inning. Dallas picks up his 3rd strikeout, and he is retired 8 in a row.
Today after missing yesterday, left Monday night's game with a sore right Achilles. Said today no idea what really caused it. He felt it as he was running around the bases, and then on defense he broke hard to his right, felt a little grab. This is the time of year where everyone's feeling something, but he did report it. They did want to just give him a day, wanted to make sure that he could push it as he needs to in the outfield. But also for him, he said it's so frustrating because I felt like I was starting to swing the bat pretty good. It seems like this year when things get going, I come down with something or something happens. That earlier this season he was starting to swing it really well, had the staph infection that pulled him out for a few games, but was able to get it going here recently. So fought his way back into the lineup and hoping to continue what he had working before missing out on yesterday's game, guys.
And using different bats during the homestand. 2-0 to Reddick. There's a called strike.
That's right. If you heard the interview with Josh the other night, he said he picked up George Springer's bat and hit a home run. Then he hit one the next night as well, and so that was also with George's bat. George said, if I see you up there without my bat in your hand, I'm going to call time for you and hand you my bat because I won't be too far away.
He's got a 2-2 count here. A couple of home runs on the homestand using the Springer axe handle bat. Casey Lawrence back out for his 2nd inning of work. He has gone 3 and 4 1/3 innings his last 2 appearances out of the bullpen for Scott Service. So he is that next guy, the bridge guy, kind of the longer guy.
Yeah, he's going to ask for more money, extending himself in this ball game.
He did give up 7 runs in those extended outings his last 2 appearances. in 7 1/3 innings. Well, Josh Reddick draws a walk here to start the third.
As you enjoy a cold one, look forward to the Miller Lite Hold True moment later in tonight's game.
I'll bring up Martin Maldonado. Martin carrying a .227 average to the plate, but .241 as an Astro and .290 in his last 23 games. Maldonado see his old buddies coming in town over the weekend with the Angels in town. Angels still have games tonight and tomorrow against Oakland. Right now we're on an even games number of games back in terms of the half game versus full game, as the A's are 5 games back to start tonight's play. After tomorrow we'll be back on the half game. A's trying to wrap up their postseason. They still have a magic number of 7 as Tampa Bay just swept the series in Arlington against the Rangers. Maldonado down on the count 0-2. And with the Rays winning all 3 games, the Astros playoff clinch number has not moved. It's sitting at 2 tonight. Just missed inside. Lawrence last year pitched for both Toronto and Seattle. Appeared in 4 games with the Blue Jays, a couple of starts, then 23 games with the Mariners, all out of the bullpen. Claimed off waivers from Toronto on May the 11th as he was designated for assignment 3 days earlier. Re-signed with the M's this year, and he gets Maldonado swinging on the slider for out number 1.
Sinkers in, sliders away to right-handed hitters from Casey Lawrence.
Now he'll face Jake Marisnick. That slider is a big pitch for him. He throws it over 40% of the time. Jake getting a start tonight, 6 times since coming back from the DL, which encompasses the month of September, and he takes that slider for a strike to start this AB. On the ground towards third. Seager to second for 1. Cano with the turn for a double play, and that'll do it for the Astros in the third. We head to the fourth in a 3-0 Mariners lead. A young fan needs a note signed by AJ. Fans enjoying a little Astros and Mariners on a Wednesday night.
I've got an idea.
What do you have?
School nights, instead of getting a note from AJ Hinch, if the Astros win, you get a free pass.
I like it.
Yeah, wins are the cure of everything.
Here's Kyle Seager. Scary moment last time he was the batter. He took a 3-2 pitch and lined it off the left side of Dallas Keuchel's head and into right field. Apparently Dallas not feeling any poor effects from that as he stayed in the game.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing because at the time and watching the replays, I thought it was going to be a bigger deal than it was, but Dallas Keuchel shaking it off as Mayor Fufura.
1-1 pitch is a called strike. Dallas right back on the mound. Didn't seem phased at all, but that was definitely a scary moment. This ball into the air, lofted into left center. Reddick will call off Jake and put it away for out number 1. Now, looking through Dallas's career, the first inning is a little bit hotter in terms of ERA than the other innings, but nothing close to what he's been dealing with this year. We showed you the breakdown earlier, coming in over 6 ERA in the first inning and gave up 3 tonight. Last year he was at 3.13 in the first inning in his 23 starts. So it's just been one of those years where it just has not come out of the gates the way he has wanted to. His last 2 starts now, he's gone total of 9 innings plus this inning and allowed 5 runs, all of them coming in the first.
I got an idea.
I'm ready.
Dallas Keuchel needs an opener.
Ooh. Might be onto something. An opening pitcher and then Dallas comes into the second.
Put you in the 7th inning.
This ball is hit towards the corner and left. Reddick on the move, and he reaches up and he makes the play.
Great play.
Josh showing the ball was running out of territory out there in the corner and robs Mike Zunino.
Moving from one corner to the next, normally playing right field, but moving out to left field, dealing with that manual scoreboard. His spidey senses helped him catch that one.
Now, I'm not sure how he didn't collide with the board.
Yeah, I was waiting for one of those episodes like we've seen with Jake Marisnick and the Green Monster, but Josh making a phenomenal grab and avoiding contact with the wall.
Spider-Man showing some strong moves in the left field corner. Here's Guillermo Heredia taking a strike. With that assist from Josh Reddick, Dallas is now retired 10 in a row, and maybe 11 here as Altuve will make the play. 11 straight sent down by Dallas Keuchel after a rough start.
And baseball got a boost of fan support in Boston. We go behind the scenes at Fenway with AJ Hinch, and Justin Verlander makes an emotional return to Detroit. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show, only on AT Sportsnet. TK.
All right, Julia, we go to the bottom of the fourth inning with George Springer leading off against Casey Lawrence. Springer coming in September batting .365 with a .412 on base percentage and 18 runs. Just 3 extra base hits during the month, which is a little low for George. But feels like he is about due to drive a ball pretty deep soon.
His bat looks like it's made of cement. But I kind of had the feeling the way you took that first pitch that you might be right.
This one's a little tapper, might be slow enough to be a hit. Seager bare hands, and George is safe. Well, he didn't drive it, but he picks up the first hit of the game for the Astros. A little tapper down the third baseline.
It's going to be a rocket tomorrow when he calls his friends. Big swing, tops it. Seager actually made a pretty good play out of it, but not enough time to get George sprinting down that first base line.
And you're a third baseman as you were. You have that little mental clock, and you probably know by the time you barehanded it's not going to work out.
Yeah, you know you make the pickup with the bare hand, and the next thought is don't throw it away. Just make a decent throw so the first baseman can catch it.
Here's Jose Altuve. So the Astros finally on the board with a hit. They had a walk last inning to Reddick, and he was erased on a double play. Now Altuve grounds one to short. And for the second straight inning, the Astros hit into a double play. That's 149 on the year. They approach their franchise record of 154.
Yay.
Yeah, it's been too many. Way too many this year. I mean, there's not even a team close in the major leagues to that 149 total. So Alex Bregman bats with the bases cleared.
It's still amazing to me that they hit that many ground balls with runners on base, especially first base, when all year we've heard the term launch angle. Sometimes when you try and create that launch angle, you're trying to get underneath the baseball. If you don't time it right, that barrel gets out in front and turns into a rollover, which leads to a lot of ground balls.
Next closest team is the team the Astros will face the last series of the season, Baltimore. The Orioles have grounded into 126 coming into today. Here's Bregman. Alex flied out to right his first time up. Adam Warren beginning to loosen up in the Mariners bullpen. Casey Lawrence in his third inning of work. So far has allowed a hit and a walk, but erased both of those runners with double plays the last couple of innings. 3-0 here on Bregman.
Hopefully Alex Bregman got a sneak peek at what the 3-1 pitch will be too. Maybe lay the barrel out there and launch one.
Astros could use a spark. Haven't had much going today against the two relievers for the Mariners, and now Bregman draws a walk. Second walk issued by Lawrence. And Alex with his 91st walk of the season.
Time now to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Who is it? Put a ring on it. Skeeters, right down the line. If you know who that Astro is, make sure you tweet your answer to at ATT Sportsnet SW, and stay tuned later in the ball game and we'll let you know who that Astro is. Brought to you by Nissan.
Here's Marwin. Marwin flied out to center. He was the first batter that Casey Lawrence faced, so Lawrence now going through the lineup a second time. He starts him off with that slider for a strike. It's 0-1.
Perfectly located on that outside corner.
That was Bregman's 6th walk of this homestand. Even though he hasn't been hitting much, just 1 for 16, he has been drawing a lot of walks. Marwin with a count of 1-1. Marwin last night with his 18th career home run against the Mariners. It was one that was originally ruled a double and an RBI. Instead, it turned into a 2-run home run after they reviewed it in New York. Marwin was on base 3 times with a couple of hits and a walk. 93 career hits against Seattle as well, which is by far the most against any opponent. There goes Alex on the ground towards the hole, backhanded. The throw off balance in time by Cano. Nice play by the Mariners second baseman to end the 4th. 3-0 Seattle after 4.
Josh Reddick in the last 2 seasons, 4.8 arm defensive run save, 3rd in the American League. Strong right arm of Josh Reddick. What he does good also is kind of closes that space between himself and the base he is throwing to by aggressively charging that baseball and coming up firing.
He does. He really cuts down a lot of space and territory by always being on the move. Fangraph stat tonight in left field for Josh, but he is a guy that really limits runners taking the extra 90 feet from right field most of the time. D. Gordon leads off. To start the 5th inning, Dallas has settled in after a rough start as he gets this comebacker to retire D. Gordon for the first out of the 5th.
Back to that Zunino fly out. Flying through the air with the greatest of ease, Josh Reddick with a great play. Can do it with the glove too, not necessarily the arm every time.
Right.
Now here's Mitch Haniger. Last time the Mariners were in town, they were struggling a little bit before they swept the Astros in a 4-game series to move from 8 games back to 4 games back. Scott Service is kind of tinkering with an offense that had been struggling a little bit, and he put this guy, Mitch Haniger, into the top spot of the lineup. He would go 4 for 5 that first game as leadoff hitter on August the 9th, and he has not left the leadoff spot ever since. 36 games now, batting .327 coming in that leadoff spot. He's down to the count here on Dallas, 0-2. So D. Gordon, who had been leading off most of the year, now at the bottom of the lineup. And Haniger still has 89 RBIs on the year, even with that move up to the top spot for the last month and a half. Tied with Nelson Cruz for the team lead with those 89 runs batted in.
As good as it's gone for Mitch Haniger at the top of the lineup. D. Gordon not so much out of that 9 spot. 217 the batting average in 22 games.
One of the crazy numbers with the Mariners this year, as Dallas delivers 1-2, is their record with and without Robinson Cano in the lineup. They lost Cano for half of the season with that suspension, but they're just 1 game over 500 with Robbie in the lineup and 14 games over when he hasn't been in the lineup. Hard to make sense of your highest priced player who is right in the middle of the lineup missing, and the team actually played a little better during that middle part of the season during the suspension. But Cano's back in there, had a good game last night, hit the ball hard all 4 times.
I'm not taking the bait, TK. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories that can go out there when you say something like that. When you take a superstar out of the middle, all of a sudden guys start to gel. You have other guys stepping up. It's a little more of a team game.
Well, I think the one thing that we can say fairly, and I think it would be hard to dispute, is defensively. With D. Gordon moving in from center field and then playing Herrera in center field, that improved.
Yes.
D is not as good in center field as he has been playing on the infield during the season.
Absolutely. That is very true.
And then Robbie, we saw last night, didn't make a great play on a double down the line first, and he's now moving around to different positions. Tonight he's at second. He saw him make a fine play to end that 4th inning, and that's his natural position, obviously. Here's Gene Segura. Walk by Keuchel of Haniger. Snapped a string of 12 consecutive batters retired by Dallas. Now Segura sends one into center field. Easy play for Jake.
'19 season tickets are now on sale, and fans who purchase now enjoy benefits like guaranteed 2018 postseason priority access. Visit Astros.com/season tickets or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for info.
Here is the aforementioned Robbie Cano. Last night when Cano picked up a double in that game, he actually had 2 of them in the 6th inning and the 8th innings. He moved into 41st place all time with career double number 529 and 530. Next on the list for Cano is Lou Gehrig. He's 4 away from that mark. Here's a guy who every single season, including his rookie year, has had no fewer than 33 doubles in 13 major league seasons. That string will end this year as he has played just a half a season and sits with 18 doubles right now. Down on the count here, 0-2.
And that's what's tough, because I think I'm in the majority when they say that I like watching Robinson Cano play. And this year with that PED suspension kind of stains it a little bit, because the numbers you're talking about, it felt like he earned all of them and did it with that sweet swing that he's got.
Says he got a piece of that one. Dallas trying to convince the home plate umpire Trip Gibson it was a swing and a miss, but Cano's going to win this argument.
I thought he might have argued that Maldonado got the glove underneath the baseball, not hit the ground.
Yep, a little
of the ground.
Just enough to stay alive. Dallas started to head to the dugout again. This time on a pitch that just missed the outside corner. Good call.
Good pitch. Not good enough. It was a good pitch. It was a good job by Robinson Cano to lay off.
Into left center field, and that is slicing away from Jake Marisnick. Jake tries to cut it off. Around third comes Haniger. Marwin's going to have a shot at him. The throw will be safe. Martin didn't tag him. Haniger got back in on the plate after the initial slide took him past the plate. No call made by Gibson until Haniger got back on the plate the second time. And that's going to be a run for the Mariners.
Throw was definitely there in time for Maldonado to keep Haniger from touching the plate, but he doesn't make contact with him. Need to go chase after him right there at that point.
Yeah, at that point, there's 2 outs. There's nowhere that other runner's going.
All he had to do was chase him down and put that tag on him. With 2 outs, it's paramount to make sure that you go over there and get that tag on the runner.
Jake did a good job not letting that ball get to the wall, and Marwin made a good enough throw to get the out. Instead, it goes as an RBI double for Robinson Cano.
Well, not only did he do a great job of getting over there, cutting that baseball off, how about the feed that he gave to Marwin Gonzalez and allowed Marwin to get in good enough position to make a strong throw home.
So the thing that's unusual here for me is there's 2 outs in the inning. So if you're Martini, you either feel like you tagged him, innings over, or you need to go get him.
Yep.
It didn't make sense to me that you turn around at that point, unless because he had to know Haniger didn't get the plate based on where he was.
Yeah, that was blatantly obvious. He did a phenomenal job of keeping Haniger away from the plate. He just didn't finish it off by getting the tag on the runner. And we know this day and age with the replay and everything, you can't take anything for granted. You got to go get the guy and make sure you do lay the glove on him.
Swing and a miss here. Nelson Cruz with a 2-2 count. It's now a 4-0 game. Cano with his 3rd double in his last 5 at bats, and has 4 hits in those 5 at bats. We're going to take a look at the whole play again with Jake's sliding stop in the left center field gap.
Watch Marwin come over. He knows he's the relay guy, and so does Jake. Gives him that nice strong throw, and again we have an opportunity to see Jake with a strong throw and Marwin with a strong throw that should have led to an out. Inning ending out.
Three and two. Dallas threw a lot of pitches in the first inning, 28. Got back into a good pitch count the next 3 innings with just 30 needed over the 3 between the second and the fourth. Now building back up a little bit this inning with 21 pitches so far. This ball in the right field will send Springer back, and he'll look up, and this ball's off the wall. He'll hold Cruz to a single, but it drives in another run. It's now 5-0 Mariners.
Essentially 2 runs could have been taken off that board.
Yeah. And that's what's frustrating right now. 3 in the first, 2 more added in the 5th. Walk ended up scoring, and then the Cano double, followed by the Nelson Cruz single, and that'll bring up Ryan Healy. Cruz didn't miss his 6th career home run against Dallas by very much. That ball was a rocket off the right field wall. This ball playable. George comes in and puts it away. Well, the Mariners score 2 and lead at 5-0 halfway home. Sportsnet is brought to you by Rooms to Go, where you'll save even more when you buy the whole room, and delivery is fast and easy. And by Nissan, innovation that excites. Astros with some work to do tonight. Down 5-0 as we head to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Astros put an 8 spot on the Mariners last night, including 5 against the starter Mike Leake. Tonight it's been a bullpen day as the M's go to their 3rd reliever of this game, Adam Lawrence.
Adam Warren in the game. Fastball, changeup, curveball, slider. We saw him previously make his 43rd appearance in this series on the season. He's thrown in 48 innings and has 48 strikeouts.
Adam Warren replacing Casey Lawrence, who was pretty effective. Lawrence walked a couple in 3 innings, but only an infield hit allowed, and a couple of double plays helped him.
If you would have said Joey Lawrence, I would have had issues.
Then I would know that I'm time for the check. Here's Tyler White, who grounded out his first time up. Well, the Astros are going to have to do some damage against some different arms out of this bullpen now. It was Matt Festa for an inning. Perfect start to the game. He went 1, 2, 3. Then Lawrence for the next 3. And now Adam Warren. Tyler pops one foul towards the Astros dugout. Ryan Healy runs out of room and actually collides with the railing of the dugout. I'm not sure that felt very good.
Yeah, railing 1, Healy nothing.
Oh, that's what happened.
He was on skates.
Warren spent most of his career with the New York Yankees. 2012 through 18, with a quick stint with the Chicago Cubs in 2016. He was acquired from the Yankees at the end of July this year. Made his Seattle debut against the Astros on August the 1st. Speaking of those Yankees, they're defeating the Red Sox tonight 8-1, trying to hold off the Red Sox from clinching the AL East for the 2nd straight night. Brad Peacock, you saw warming up in the Astros bullpen. That would probably mean that Dallas Keuchel's night is over after 5 innings.
Too bad those 2 runs in the 5th are really, oh man, those are just going to stick in your craw a little bit, knowing that they could have been avoided.
He was rolling along too. He retired 12 in a row. He walked Haniger, then got Segura to fly out on an easy fly ball out, and then Cano and Cruz with the base hits, but on the Cano double easily could have picked up the final out at home plate, it looked like.
Yeah. It's amazing in this season series between the Mariners and the Astros here at Minute Maid Park how much more comfortable the Seattle Mariners look in this stadium than the Astros.
Edwin Diaz saved all 5 games as part of a 5-game winning streak during this season series. Yuli bats and fouls one back. Seattle salvaged their season, at least temporarily, back in August, the 9th through the 12th, when they swept that 4-game set. Not sure anything at this point could salvage their season. They are close to being eliminated this year from the postseason as Yuli Gurriel lines one into left field for a base hit. 2nd base hit for the Astros, and first it got to the outfield.
Finally got ourselves a hard hit baseball. Yuli turning on one, hitting a line drive into left field. That's good to see. Hopefully that invigorates that Astros offense and gets them going. Plenty of game left.
That's the thing. There's time. You've got 14 outs to work with. You're down 5. You just need a little spark, like you said. As Josh pops one towards the left field line. Long run for Seager. And it falls for a fair ball. That'll be a base hit for Reddick as it dropped in right near the line, and the Astros have first and second.
It's only fitting with Josh up there that he gets a hit like that, and you go, man, that's a peach, hon. Big swing, lofted fly ball. Only two guys over there that have a chance. Seager gave it his best effort. Unable to come up with it, and the Astros with a couple of base runners on.
How about that? That is a beautiful 60-degree lob wedge. It even got over Herrera after it bounced.
Did. Got a little bit of a AstroTurf hop.
Herrera's like, whoa. Playing volleyball with it. Tony Kemp is going to pinch hit here for Martin Maldonado. AJ has 3 catchers on his roster right now.
It's interesting.
So early on in this game, in a 5th inning situation, Kemp is going to get a chance to pinch hit. You know, certainly AJ is considering the possibility of catching or carrying 3 catchers in the postseason, and might be starting to work his playoff routine in certain situations where he might pinch hit earlier than he would in a regular season game normally as Kemp takes a strike. Kemp's had a couple of big pinch hits for AJ, including the biggest of the year, a double the other way in Boston. Helped the Astros win 2 out of 3 in that series. One and 1 the count.
There's Maldonado talking to one of the Astros assistant trainers. Hopefully nothing major with Martin.
2-1. Kemp 2 for 7 as a pinch hitter. Well, Astros trying to get back in this thing, down 5-0. Line drive single by Yuli, a flare single by Reddick. 1 out in the inning. Kemp checking with Trip Gibson if that would have been called a strike. Warren will throw that change up a little more to lefties. Misses outside, and it's 3-2. Well, you've got to think right here he's going to come in with something. Kemp has worked the count full. Couple of runners on here with 1 out. There's a ball down the line, but he hooked it into the crowd.
That would have cut into the Mariners' lead. Nice and compact. Did a great job of pulling the hands in, and then that barrel released just a hair too quick and yanked it foul. Imagine they try and stay on that outside corner.
Into right field. Haniger drifts over. Yuli's going to tag. He'll head to third. Throw comes into second. Kemp is out number 2. Well, AJ going back to another pinch hitter here with Jake Marisnick due up. Jake was 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles against Warren. But AJ looking for the big swing of Evan Gattis here, coming on as a pinch hitter. Gattis's numbers are even better than Jake's, which was 2 for 4 with 2 doubles against Warren. Gattis is 4 for 7 with a double and a home run against this Seattle right-hander. AJ going to the bench early. Takes a pitch for a ball. This feels like postseason practice.
Get him used to coming off the bench in some RBI type situations.
And early. Like these games, obviously 162, you don't play them all out this way where you use 2 pinch hitters in the 5th inning. I think now that we're past the midpoint of September and the Astros are looking at the possibility, very real possibility of being in the postseason, winning the division once again. This is maybe how AJ would have played it if it was a playoff game. Got a few more options too right now with expanded rosters in September. Evan looking for a big swing here with a 2-1 count.
That'd be nice if it paid off for AJ Hinch, Evan Gattis, and these Astros if he was able to get a hold of one.
Trying to snap an 0 for 14 right now against a pitcher he's had success against. 2-2. And a swing and a foul tip caught by Zunino. That'll do it for the Astros in the 5th. It's Friday coming up. Fans can purchase bags with autographed memorabilia, 2019 Astros tickets, exclusive t-shirts, and more. Bags are limited and can be purchased at the game, online, or over the phone. For more information, visit astros.com/charity game. And here are those 3 levels of bags for the AT&T Sportsnet and Astros Foundation charity game. The VIP bag, you get 2 tickets to a game, a hat, a t-shirt, autographed ball from somebody on this year's team. MVP gets you an autographed ball from an Astros legend in addition to tickets to a game, hat, and a t-shirt. Cooperstown bag, the best of all, tickets to a suite as well as an autographed ball by Bagwell, Biggio, and Nolan Ryan. Defensive moves for the Astros, kind of the reverse Cupid shuffle as Jake Marisnick comes out of the game. George Springer moves from right to center. Josh Reddick from left to right, and Tony Kemp stays in the game after pinch hitting in left. Max Stassi behind the plate, and the new pitcher in the 6th inning is Brad Peacock.
Saw Brad on the 17th against these Mariners. Went an inning, throwing 14 pitches, gave up a couple of hits, but got out of there unscathed.
Keuchel's night is over after 5 innings, allowed 6 hits and 5 runs, a couple of walks, 3 strikeouts, and a wild pitch while he was in there. Dallas threw 81 pitches tonight, 52 for strikes. Kyle Seager 1 for 2 with that scary base hit his first time up, that appeared to go off the left side of Dallas Keuchel's head and into right field. Peacock gets the slider over for a strike. It's 1-2. Astros will need a big comeback to avoid losing the season series to the Mariners. They were tied at 9 coming into this game. Crazy how it is split out between road and home. The Astros 7-3 at Safeco Field, while the Mariners coming into tonight were 6-2 here at Minute Maid Park. Mariners came into this game with an elimination number of 5, meaning any combination of 5 losses for Seattle or Oakland victories would eliminate them from the postseason chase. This ball is crushed to right field, and this is headed towards the second deck. Kyle Seager gets into one. Second tank about 6 rows deep. Seager hits his 22nd home run of the year, and it's now 6-0 Seattle.
That ball was destroyed.
And the fan throws it all the way back to the infield from the upper deck. Pretty good arm out there.
Get him a part of the Cupid shuffle. That is a center cut fastball, barreled up. Good attack angle, better launch angle.
Now bring up Mike Zunino. Zunino tried to hold up, but he goes around. 11th home run of the season allowed by Peacock in 62 1/3 innings. Brad gets a swinging strike there. It's 0-2. 6 runs, 7 hits for Seattle. Astros still without a run on 3 hits. And a 3-pitch strikeout of Zunino for the first out of the 6th. I'll bring up Guillermo Heredia.
It's the 20th home run that the Mariners have hit against the Astros this season. Most against any team they've played against. I'm sorry, they hit 27 against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and 20 against the Houston Astros. 13 of them here at Minute Maid Park.
That's the reason they have the record they do here. of 6-2 plus a 6-0 lead in this game. At least one of the reasons. Pitch outside for a ball. It's 1-1. Peacock on for Dallas Keuchel here in the 6th inning. With these runs being scored against the Astros staff tonight, they go over 500 runs allowed for the season. That is significant because every other major league team had allowed at least 500 runs or more on the season back on August 26th. That's 24 days ago. The Astros tonight started with 498 and have allowed 6 tonight. They allowed their 300th run. It was 11 days after everybody else had allowed 300. When they allowed their 400th run, it was 16 days after everybody else had allowed 400. And now allowing over 500 runs after 24 days, with the rest of baseball having allowed that number. Brent Strom has overseen the best pitching staff all year long. Tonight, not the case necessarily, but they've had quite a year overall. 3-2 pitches hit hard to Tony Kemp in left, and he puts it away for the second out. Heredia hit it hard, but at the Astros left fielder. Well, Dean Dietz begins to warm up in the Astros bullpen. Dietz made his big league debut here against the Twins on September 5th. That is his only major league appearance to this point. Here's D. Gordon. D sends one towards right, but foul. One to win the count. Ball hit hard, but Josh Reddick, who's over in right field now for the final out of the inning. Home run makes it 6-0.
Brought to you by Toyota. Springer thought he made the play of the century, according to Brian McCann, but got to hold on to the baseball. In baseball, the ground can cause the fumble.
One of the greatest reactions ever.
Well, he knew it was a phenomenal play just to get it in the glove, and he just hoping he held on and wasn't.
AJ checking out the uni after he came in that inning. What an effort it was. For about 2.5 seconds, he thought he made one of the best plays of his career. Instead, it was just a base hit as he leads off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Uni looks clean tonight. Is that the same Uni, Julia?
It is not. He was wearing half of the outfield last night. I actually asked the guys that were in the clubhouse as they were putting the uniforms away, getting ready to take them back there to get washed. My question was, how in the world are you going to get this clean before tomorrow? And he said, actually, we're lucky because Mike Acosta took this one from us. He's going to authenticate it. So they didn't have to worry about it.
That jersey will never be worn again.
They authenticated a jersey that got dirty. Am I understanding this? I mean, I don't want to take all the fun out of it, but
Segura makes the play on Springer here. Sean Armstrong, the new pitcher for the Mariners, picks up an out to start the 6th inning.
Another pitcher. 10th appearance for Sean Armstrong. He's thrown in 10 1/3. I'll do my best to dig up some more information on him, and my buddy TK will.
Fastball, cutter, slider guy.
There you have it.
93.5 on average with fastball. He was with Tacoma this year and went 15 out of 17 in saves at the AAA level. Here's Jose Altuve. Astros have fared better with Altuve in the lineup overall offensively tonight, notwithstanding, as they have just 3 hits so far. Altuve missed 21 games while he was on the DL with that sore knee. 2-0 the count. Armstrong pitched with the Indians for 3 seasons prior to this year. Part of the bullpen with Joe Smith. Upstairs is 3-1. One out walk drawn by Jose Altuve.
The Indeed player resume. With and without Jose Altuve, without him, it's a rough go. Record is 8-13. The average on base slugging, they all drop. But when he is in that lineup, he can be a catalyst for these guys, leading the way to a 20-6 record. Obviously, the average goes up and the on base percentage. But the runs per game, when you're getting those guys on base, that helps out.
Alex sends one high in the air to left field. Just got under this a bit as Heredia makes the play for out number 2. Fans in the Crawford boxes got excited for a moment, but Alex underneath that one, and that'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez. Marwin playing shortstop tonight, giving Carlos Correa the day off. With the scheduled off day tomorrow, the Astros give Correa a 48-hour breather, and then after that there are no more off days until the finish line a week from Sunday. American League wild card game will be contested 2 weeks from tonight, and then the first round of the playoffs will be started in the American League on Friday, 2 weeks and 2 days from tonight. Marwin takes a called strike. It's getting to the point in the next couple of days where the 1, 2, and 3 seeds will all be lined up with the divisions. Boston's going to be the 1 seed, Cleveland's going to be the 3 seed, and then the winner of this American League West would be the 2 seed, barring something absolutely crazy, as Marwin sends one into right field for a base hit. Altuve gets to third. Marwin has himself his 3rd hit of the last 2 nights. And the Astros once again with runners on first and third, just like last inning. So this is how it would line up right now. The Yankees winning tonight 8-1 over Boston. They're trying to maintain that 4 seed so that they would host Oakland in the wild card game. And then the Indians are losing tonight 1-0 to the White Sox. If the Indians lose that game, they will be locked in to the 3 seed. Here's Tyler White. White's grounded out a couple of times. Takes a pitch up and in. 2 runners in the 4th for the Astros. One of them wiped out on a double play. 2 runners last inning were stranded, and now 2 more runners in the 6th. So giving themselves opportunities. Need to cash in on one of these chances. Out straight back. It's 1-1.
Big swing, trying to cut that lead in half.
White ended up with an RBI double in last night's game. A ball that fell in between D. Gordon and Denard Span in left center field. Two and one. Into right field. Haniger going back, still going back on the track, has room and puts it away. Tyler White making a bid that falls short for the final out of the 6th.
Occidental Petroleum. The best fireworks show in town takes place after this Friday's Astros-Angels game. Visit astros.com/Friday nights for tickets. TK?
All right, Julia. That will be Garrett Cole working on a little bit of extended rest on Friday against Andrew Heaney. Astros will face a couple of left-handers with the Angels in town, and they go to a new pitcher here in the 7th inning. It is Dean Dietz.
This will be his second big league appearance. In his first appearance, he went 2/3 of an inning. Got his first big league strikeout back on September 5th against the Minnesota Twins. Dietz threw an average of 94 miles an hour with his fastball in that ball game, and has a slider.
Well, he'll face the top part of the Mariners lineup here. Mitch Haniger, Gene Segura, Robinson Cano in this 6-0 game. Dietz delivers a strike. It's always the tough thing about September call-ups is never sure how often you're going to get used, and you always have to be ready. Dietz pitching 2 weeks ago in his big league debut, and coming back tonight, pitching on the 5th and now the 19th. And it's 1-1 to Haniger.
And it's not really your ordinary September call-up situation when you get called up to a defending champion ball club who's contending for back-to-back Western Division titles.
CNL Perez has been up with September call-ups and hasn't been in a game yet.
But the one benefit is, I think, for these guys like Dietz and CNL Perez not getting the kind of time that Framber Valdez or a Josh James is you get to be around the environment. And if things go accordingly, you get to celebrate a little bit, which is always enjoyable.
Absolutely. Slider stays inside on Haniger. It's 2-2. Haniger has reached base a couple of times tonight. A single, a walk. He has scored 2 runs. And 3-2. Ball hit well at a left field, and that ball will be into the Crawford boxes for a home run. Well, kind of fitting on this final game between the Mariners and the Astros that Mitch Haniger having a good night. He has had a good season against Houston this year as he hits his 26th home run and scores his 3rd run of the game.
So it's one of those good news, bad news scenarios. Good news is this is the last game he's going to play here at Minute Maid Park. Bad news is he just hit a home run.
Yeah. It's been quite a year for Haniger, especially since moving in that leadoff spot. Here's Gene Segura. The first run allowed by Dietz in his career. Segura takes a pitch upstairs. Dietz grew up in Missouri and then attended Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College. First year there, he had to sit out because he was recovering from Tommy John surgery. Taken in the 11th round of the June draft in 2014. And steadily made the climb up through each level of the minor leagues. Now pitching at the big league level for the 2nd time in his career. It's 1-2 on Gene Segura. Haniger's 23rd hit on the season against the Astros and his 3rd home run. On the ground, diving stop. Bregman gets up and not quite in time. Yuli couldn't hold the throw, but I don't think it would have mattered. Segura with an infield hit despite the great effort by Bregman.
And I personally applaud Alex Bregman for still showing some intensity, laying out, trying to pick up Dean Dietz with a phenomenal play. Segura decided to run on this one and legged it out. But that is a player not giving up in this ball game.
I'll bring up Robinson Cano. Cano with a couple of base hits, scoring runs, one in the first, one in the fifth. 2 for 3 on the night. Takes a pitch outside for ball 1. Year he was drafted, Deep spent the rest of the 2014 season at Rookie League Greenville, then split time the next year between Tri-City and Quad Cities at the Class A level. And on to Lancaster at the High A level the next year. Ended the season with Corpus, and then started the year last year with Corpus and moved on to Fresno. Should be a big announcement that will interest Astros fans tomorrow. They are no longer going to be with the Fresno Grizzlies, and there'll be an announcement tomorrow about the new official affiliation at the AAA level.
No more tacos.
No more Taco Tuesdays.
There's a lot of movement down there in the minor leagues between some of those affiliates.
Fresno was a great place, and they were great with the Astros. A little far.
Oh yeah, no, Fresno was great.
A little far. New place should be a lot more convenient.
There's a little bit stronger connection between Round Rock and the Houston Astros.
That ball's hit hard, and that'll be a fair ball towards the wall, and Reddick will play it off the wall. Segura being held on Cano's 4th double. Now Segura is just going to blow through the stop sign and score. Well, it's 8-0. 4th double in the last 2 games for Cano.
That was an aggressive assault on home plate. The power player is presented by TXU Energy. Garrett Cole is going to be pitching on Friday night. On the season, 260 strikeouts and only a dearth of hits against him add up to a 196 opponent batting average. Both of those are career bests. Had a phenomenal season back in 2015 with the Pittsburgh Pirates, but now with the Houston Astros has picked it up a notch. A little bit of a friendly competition with those strikeout numbers between him and Justin Verlander, but it should be a big Friday night.
Cole will start -9, down 9 to Verlander in the strikeout category. Slider for a strike to Nelson Cruz. Well, Blummer, you were in the big leagues for 14 seasons. You know that every once in a while, in the course of 162 games, you have one of these games where it just seems like you can't get out of your own way and you stub your toe. And unfortunately, this seems like one of those nights for the Astros.
Yeah, you're just going to wear it, go out there, grind it out. But it's definitely in the favor of the Seattle Mariners. The Astros are in first place. You know, it's one game. It hasn't been pretty at home, but they are still a couple of games up. Even if they do lose that game tonight, they've still got a little bit of a padded lead. Makes going down the stretch that much more interesting, but you're not going to be perfect every single night when you're playing 162 games in 184 days now.
Sounds right.
Yeah, they added those 4 extra days off throughout the course of the season this year. But it's in September, and like you said, it gives an opportunity for some of these guys like Dean Dietz, Cianel Perez, maybe J.D. Davis gets into the mix, Miles Straw gets an at-bat. You know, that's where you start to look at some of the positives, get these young guys in on some of these games. And with Garrett Cole going Friday, you're going to back him up with Justin Verlander. So take this one on the chin.
Yep.
Enjoy your day off, recoup, and get prepared, because this weekend, the last weekend of the regular season here at Minute Maid Park, is going to be a showcase of 1A and 1B.
It'll definitely be interesting to see where those two end up on the Cy Young radar, and we could talk more about that over the weekend. Certainly Blake Snell making a big push with what he's done in his last 8 starts for Tampa Bay. Chris Sale still on a lot of people's radars for the Cy Young Award. Corey Kluber, but Justin Verlander having one of the best years of his career. Same with Garrett Cole. We'll see. Talk more about that when those guys pitch over the weekend. But for Dean Dietz, it's an opportunity here. I mean, when he faced Minnesota, he faced some guys that had been at the big league level for a few years, but he also faced a lot of guys that were just up for the first time, similar to him. Now he's facing established hitters in Haniger, Segura, Cano, now Cruz, the top 4 of the Seattle lineup. And this ball grounded towards Bregman on a couple of hops. His throw is low. Nice pick by Yuli for the first out. A look ahead is brought to you by Wells Fargo. The top 2 hitters in OPS since September 1st are heading into town for the weekend. Shohei Ohtani, despite being shut down as a pitcher, has been raking offensively, and Mike Trout has just done that all year, it seems.
Yeah, he is consistently excellent. It's amazing. His first 6 years in the big leagues, the kind of numbers he's been able to put up. Just unfortunate for him that he's been unable to get the support, but Shohei Ohtani showing up in that lineup has been a nice addition.
Astros are going to be big fans of those guys tonight and tomorrow as the Angels play the Oakland A's in the Coliseum. The A's have actually lost 3 in a row right now. That hasn't happened since they were swept in Colorado earlier this summer. Healy down in the count 1-2. Ryan Healy 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. Dean Dietz throwing 26 pitches so far in this inning. Cionel Perez is warm, and he could be called on with Kyle Seager due up as the next batter. Could be playable. Yuli gives it a look, and he will have room. Yuli puts it away for the second out. And AJ will go to lefty Cionel Perez with Kyle Seager due up. We will have a pitching change in this game. Mariners leading 8-0 in the 7th.
downloading the AT&T Sportsnet app from iTunes or Google Play, or visit AT&TSportsnet.com to stream on your computer. Log in with your cable account or your parents, and you're all set. Available for those with AT&T Sportsnet in their TV subscription. Blackouts and territorial restrictions apply.
Well, the Astros weren't able to provide any dugout stairs so far, so the young fan was able to at least.
I like it. Got to know where that camera's at.
Cionel Perez taking over with a runner on second and 2 outs.
Been a while since we've seen Perez also pitch back on August 15th against the Colorado Rockies. Won an inning, had a walk and a strikeout through 15 pitches.
Last time he pitched in any game was for the Fresno Grizzlies back on August 29th. So that's a lot of rest in between. He's working on 3 weeks rest. Foul back, it's 1-1. Dean Dietz waited 2 weeks in between outings, and Cionel Perez 3 weeks in between outings. Getting a chance to face the Mariners here in the 7th inning in an 8-0 game. Cionel ahead 1-2. They are underway in Oakland tonight. Brett Anderson on the mound for the Athletics. Felix Pena pitching for the Angels in that game. Scoreless in the second.
What's going on in that New York-Boston game?
Yankees don't want the Red Sox to celebrate on their own turf, apparently, as Marwin makes the play. Nicely going down to a knee to retire Kyle Seager to end the inning. Mariners add 2 and lead at 8-0. With home screen icons and features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download MLB at Bat today. Deep in the heart of Texas, being enjoyed by the crowd tonight. Of the 7th inning, Zach Duke will be the 5th pitcher of the night for the Mariners.
Salty veteran in 66 games this season, has a winning record at 5-4. He's not high on the strikeouts. Does a good job with that 3/4 delivery, pitching off the edges.
Bullpen day has worked out so far for the Mariners. Matt Vesta started the game with a perfect first inning. Casey Lawrence 3 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball. Adam Warren allowed a couple of hits in the 5th, but did not allow a run. Sean Armstrong, a hit and a walk in the 6th, did not allow a run. And now Zach Duke in the 7th. He only has one of the 4 hits tonight for the Astros. He singled against Adam Warren in the 5th. He is 1 for 2. Before the break, you were asking me about that Yankees-Red Sox game. It's 10-1 in the 9th inning. Red Sox are rallying, but they're down by a large margin. Yankees able to do some damage again tonight against the Red Sox bullpen, and that's the one area right now where Boston fans are a little skittish when you ask them about their bullpen.
Rightfully so. That's what the Astros exposed.
Little ground ball base hit on the 2-2 pitch. Yuli now 2 for 3. He starts off the inning with a single to right.
It's time to name that Astro, brought to you by Nissan. Put a ring on it. Skeeters right down the line. Who is that Astro? Alex Cintron. First base coach for the Houston Astros. World Series champ with the 0-1 Diamondbacks. Played a season here in Sugar Land. First season as the Astros first base coach.
Here's Josh Reddick. Reddick's been on base twice tonight. He's walked and he flared one down the line, but Seager was unable to make a catch on. Astros now with 5 hits, Yuli with 2 of them. I think Josh has done well this year, although that was not his best swing. He's hit well against lefties this season. Josh batting .278 against lefties with 7 home runs. That ball in on the hands, softly hit to Cano. They'll turn 1 and not get a chance at the double play. Gurriel fours and Reddick lives at first with 1 out.
Hey, didn't hit into a double play.
So we got that going
so far.
There have been base runners on last few innings. In fact, 4th, 5th, and 6th, there were 2 runners on in every inning. Just nobody able to cross the plate. Here's Tony Kemp. Kemp flied out as a pinch hitter his first time up. Pinch hit for Martin Maldonado in the 5th and stayed in the game. Indians ended up winning their game 4-1 as Jason Kipnis hit a walk-off grand slam at the bottom of the 9th. But with one more Indians loss or one more Astros win, it will guarantee them the 3rd seed in the postseason. Duke able to get Kemp swinging. 2nd out of the inning. Next, Stassi will get his first at bat. Stassi came on defensively after Evan Gattis pinch hit in the 9th spot for Jake Marisnick. A little while since Max has had an AB.
Sure has. Since Brian McCann's come back, it has been Martin Maldonado and Brian McCann. Stassi being patient.
Stassi's last start was also the same day as the last appearance by CNL Perez in Fresno. That was on August 29th, so 3 weeks ago for Stassi's last start. 1-1 the count. Stassi had that big start to the year putting up big numbers, including some power early. But with the veterans now, McCann healthy and Maldonado acquired in a trade, Stassi has not found the playing time recently. On the ground to Cano. Robbie will flip it to first. And the Astros out here in the 7th. Seattle leads 8-0 headed to the 8th.
About Astros outfielders' defensive reactions and which one was your favorite. Jake Marisnick, the big winner tonight, got 60% of the vote. He's always fired up after making some big plays, and he should be. He makes all of the plays. Jake Day.
Jake started the night in center field. George Springer moved to center, and now we have our third center fielder of the game. Miles Straw is there now. Kyle Tucker into the game in left. Tony Kemp, who hasn't played a lot of infield this year at the big league level, moves from left to second. And J.D. Davis into the game as well. He's at third. So Altuve's night is over. Bregman's night is over. Carlos Correa didn't play in this game. George Springer's night is over as well. Mike Zunino leading off, facing CNL Perez. Perez faced one batter last inning, got Kyle Seager to ground out. CNL just 22 years old, from Cuba. Born in Havana, now resides in Florida. Gets Zunino on a called third strike.
Just like we promised earlier in the game, it's the Miller Lite Hold True moment. There was a little bit of excitement here with Josh Reddick picking up Dallas Keuchel, picking up that fly ball just in front of the manual scoreboard. Probably go unnoticed, but that was a pretty good play early on in this ball game.
On this night where the Mariners have 8 runs and 10 hits, They've done it all with the top 6 in their lineup. You know, Heredia and D. Gordon, who are due up this inning, had not contributed until possibly now, as Heredia sends one just into the first row of the Crawford boxes. One of the shortest home runs you'll see as it crept over by the 315 sign, and that ball's coming back as a fan throws it back. Heredia has his 5th home run of the season, and it's now 9-0.
Time for a PSA. If you're going to throw the baseball back onto the field, make sure you don't throw it near any of the Astro players, as that home run literally sneaks out of here in that Crawford box.
All right, what's the
88.6 off the bat?
Oh, gosh.
337 feet. Guess what the hit probability was?
Less than 10.
Right at 10.
Ooh. There aren't many shorter home runs than 337.
Yeah, I bet if there was a little bit higher launch angle and there was some loft under that baseball, it would have dropped it down a little bit more.
Well, CNL probably didn't figure that was going to go out when it left the bat of Heredia, but it's 9-0 now, as the Mariners have scored at least 1 run in each of the last 4 innings. Here's D. Gordon facing the lefty Perez. D. Gordon this year, facing left-handed pitching, has 158 at bats against lefties, and he's walked once.
That's impressive.
We gave you his swing percentage with 2 strikes when they played up in Seattle. At that point, it was around 73%. In a 9-0 game, got to think it goes even higher as he swings here with 2 strikes and just misses the bag at third. So I guess what we're saying is Perez really has to miss his location for D to take a pitch here. That was pretty close.
That was real close.
What's D doing? He's trying to jump those numbers up.
The pitch before was closer.
Home run by Heredia, the 3rd for the Mariners tonight. Kyle Seager, Mitch Haniger, now Heredia, all with solo home runs. Ball hit into center, sending Straw back, still going back near the track, and makes the play. Miles Straw getting to show off the speed a little bit as he tracked that one down in left center.
The Astros take on the Angels at Minute Maid Park this Saturday, and 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a 2018 team photo and 2019 Astros schedule. For tickets and info, visit astros.com/promotions.
Ben Gamel, who took over defensively, will get his first at bat. Astros don't mind not seeing Mitch Haniger anymore this year. Haniger with a home run and 3 runs scored tonight. Haniger here at Minute Maid Park this year hit just under 400, 394 with an OPS of 1,081 against the Astros. And he might be a permanent fixture in that Seattle lineup at the top spot, the way he has gone since moving to the leadoff spot back on August 9th. Gamble takes a strike. It's 1-2. Dallas Keuchel for 5 tonight. Brad Peacock for an inning. Dean Dietz with 2/3 of an inning. And now Perez trying to complete his first full inning after getting the last out in the 7th. And he does pick up 2 strikeouts in the inning, but a solo home run adds to the lead. It's 9-0.
lead it, and an off day for the Houston Astros tomorrow. Friday will be a big day as it kicks off the final home series here at Minute Maid Park in the regular season, but it's also our annual charity game with the help of the Astros Foundation right here on our broadcast at AT&T Sportsnet for a great cause, a couple of great causes, I should say. Sunshine Kids and Candlelighters will be our beneficiaries of this, both supporting the families of children who have cancer. This is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Don't forget that, so go gold. But these are what is available. You can go online, astros.com/charity game to learn more, but just get ready. These are some pretty cool bags filled with some pretty great things that you can bid on or buy, and all of the money will go back to the Astros Foundation to help Sunshine Kids and Candlelighters. It's great. We have a great time out there. I will be out in center field promoting it. Our pregame show will start at 6 o'clock that night. We will be very busy, and there's going to be a number we will give that to you when it gets closer, and you can call in on that day. So make sure you tune in early that day. I'm looking forward to it, guys.
Should be a fun night, Julia. We look forward to our charity game coming up on Friday. We have the first big league at bat for Miles Straw taking place right now. Straw, 23-year-old who's appeared in a couple of games but has not had an at bat, facing a new pitcher, the right-hander Justin Grimm, and has a 1-1 count. This is supposedly, well, not supposedly, we have metrics to verify this. He's the fastest guy in the organization. I'd like to see what kind of wheels he has if he puts the ball in play.
Faster than Derek Fisher?
That's what we've heard. 70 stolen bases this year. Led all of minor league baseball. Straw has hit a lot of balls the other way in his career. A lot of his base hits to right field. Into shallow center field, making a bid, and the new second baseman Christopher Negron ruins what could have been a fun moment here in an otherwise disappointing night for the Astros as Straw pops up for the first out. Justin Grimm, new pitcher.
Had high hopes for that. Ended up being the first knock. Fastball, curveball, slider from Justin Grimm. Not a good strikeout to walk ratio at all.
Here's Kyle Tucker getting his first at bat tonight. Tucker knocked in a run with a pinch hit last night, a ground out. Made it a 7-0 game. One and one to count. Grimm is the 6th pitcher of the night for the Mariners. 4 previous pitchers have gone 1 inning. Casey Lawrence went 3 innings. Two and one to count. Tucker still looking for his first major league home run. 53 at bats so far at the big league level. Hits the ball on the ground. Covered up there by the first baseman Healy, who will get to the bag ahead of Tucker for out number 2. League leaders are presented by Houston Methodist. When scoring 4 or more runs, the Astros trail only the Red Sox for the best winning percentage in all of baseball.
Yeah, you would expect that to be even better with the Astros pitching staff, but just 4 runs, 4 or more, gives yourself an extremely good opportunity to go out and win some ball games.
I like my chances Friday and Saturday with Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander with 4 or more runs.
Especially the way they've been going in September, too.
J.D. Davis swings and misses. His first at bat of the night. We are expecting Charlie Morton to pitch in that game on Sunday as well. Take 4 runs with him any day.
Any day.
High in the air to center. D. Gordon puts it away. Justin Grimm, a 1-2 3/8. We head to the ninth. That is 9-0. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Cigna, together all the way. And by Jack in the Box. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls for a limited time. Astros down big in this one. The Mariners lead at 9-0 as we head to the ninth. Dean Dietz and Cionel Perez picked up the 7th and 8th innings combined. 4 outs for Perez, 2 for Dietz, and for the second straight night we see Chris Davinsky.
Get Devo some work, get him right. 46 games this season, that ERA at 4.22. Like TK just said, he pitched the other night, won an inning, gave up a hit, and got himself a strikeout throwing 16 pitches.
They'll face Andrew Romine, who has taken over last inning. Romine, Christopher Negron, and Nelson Cruz is currently in the DH spot, but you never know who might be looming in that DH spot because you don't have to make the change until that spot's due up. 1-1 the count. Romine facing Davinsky. Devo faced 4 batters last night. Allowed a single in a shutout inning. Drops that one in there for a strike. It's 1-2. Into left field, Kyle Tucker puts it away for out number 1. I'll bring up Christopher Negron. He has played in all 3 games in this series. Came on as a pinch hitter last night in the Astros 7-0 win. Came on as a pinch runner on Monday night and scored a run. And now on defensively and getting his first at bat. Well, the only good news tonight in this 9-0 game is the Astros will not face Edwin Diaz again.
That's a plus.
Diaz saved all 5 games in a 5-game winning streak this year for Seattle in this stadium. Devo's changeup's been able to find the zone. Roenis Elias looks like he'll get the ball in the 9th inning. Seattle got things going early with a 3-run first inning and scored a couple in the 5th. The play at the plate ended up being costly. It looked like Maldonado could have made the tag on Haniger after Haniger went by the plate, but Henniger would score, and that would lead to 2 runs in the inning. Make it a 5-0 game through 5. Solo home runs by Kyle Seager, Mitch Henniger, Guillermo Heredia, and an RBI double by Robinson Cano. Adding to the lead, it's 9-0. Tony Kemp gets his first play at second base and makes it for the second out of the inning. Well, Nelson Cruz was due up, but we'll get a pinch hitter. It's the hero of Monday night's game. Daniel Vogelbach will pinch hit here with 2 outs and nobody on. Vogelbach gave the Mariners a chance to win this series with a grand slam home run against Hector Rondon in the 8th inning. A game the Mariners were trailing 1-0 at the time and won 4-1. 2 outs in the 8th when he hit that slam. Seen more and more of these bats that look like, you called it cement earlier, that gray, gunmetal gray tone to them. Springer uses one and Vogelbach uses one.
They look dangerous. Yeah, MLB has really laxed the rules as far as shoe colors, bat colors, glove colors. What limited expression the players can go out there and give, they take advantage of it. Even the wraps around the bats have been pretty interesting too. Good for them. Go for it.
3-0, unwritten rule of baseball right now in a 9-0 game. You're not going to swing 3-0. So
unless you're Preston Wilson. He said he would go right after him.
Really?
Yep.
P-Dubs, huh?
Yep.
Said I'm going for a cookie and trying to make it 10-0.
Yep.
High fly ball. Miles Straw will wait for this one to come down, and he'll put it away. We head to the bottom of the 9th. All Mariners tonight.
Like we said earlier, off day, and then it's Garrett Cole, Justin Verlander, Charlie Morton this weekend against the Angels. Morton going on Sunday, but there is something to keep in mind with Charlie and his family. Cindy, his wife, Cindy Morton, is due with their 4th child next week. So that is something that everyone will keep in mind for his starts, as he will be keeping a very I guess a good eye on his phone. He will always have that phone next to him to make sure everything's going okay at home. And Charlie said that he's been spending a lot of time on that phone looking at baby names. So they've got some ideas right now, but things are still up in the air. He's still taking suggestions. Didn't really want my opinion, but he said he's having a really good time looking at names, and he's very excited for their family to grow. They are a very tight-knit group, and we love Cindy and that family, as we heard him talk a lot about what she does for the family when he's on the road. So congratulations to them. Best of luck to them next week. But that is something to keep in mind, as AJ will keep that in mind as well with the starting rotation next week, guys.
As good a teammate as he is, he's even that much better a family man. He's incredible.
Yeah.
Charlie Morton, we love the guy. Well, good luck to the Morton family on the new addition. Here's Marwin Gonzalez facing Roenis Elias in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Marwin taps one slowly towards third, and the bare hand pickup and throw will be in time. That was nicely done by Gordon Beckham, who's into the game at third base. Well, Marwin retired for the first out. Mariners 9 runs, 11 hits tonight. Astros have been shut out on 5 hits thus far. Tyler White will bat for the 4th time, looking for his first hit. Probably a good time for the last off day of the year.
I agree. Couldn't come at a better time.
Let's clear this one from the memory banks and get ready for the Angels. Final 3 games of the home schedule. Another tough test for Beckham. He's being challenged in this inning, and he's made them both nicely at third. Looking like coming right in off the bench and making a couple of good plays.
That baseball will find you. It's found him twice. He's succeeded.
Yuli Gurriel has 2 of the 5 hits for the Astros tonight. You know, sometimes these are the games that are easy to just wash away. Just file it away as one of those games.
Yeah, didn't get the breaks. The other team was getting a ton of hits, couldn't get anything going. It's those tight ball games where you can almost pinpoint the moments where you missed opportunities. It's a little bit easier to choose to let these go too.
Tonight, game 152. The Astros will have 10 remaining. Yuli does not swing, says Adrian Johnson, so this game will continue at least for one more pitch. So the Astros with 95 wins, 10 games to go, will have to go 6-4 to match their record from last year, 7-3 to match the highest win total in franchise history at 102, and a ground ball towards short, and this should do it. The Mariners win the season series 10-9. They win this series 2 out of 3 as they shut out the Astros tonight with 7 different pitchers combining on a 5-hit shutout. Roenis Elias gets the final 3 outs. The win will go to Casey Lawrence. Not much to celebrate for Houston fans tonight. Their magic number remains at 7 for the division, at 2 for the postseason, and we'll have more, including the postgame show after this.